Are you ready for Sunday school, kids?
Hi, and welcome to St. Thomas Church, Stittsville. We are in God's garden right now where children grow in faith. And I've got a really, really fun story to tell you today. And after that, then we're going to do a couple of crafts, like this one. We're going to make a crown. Doesn't that look interesting? How are we going to do that? And how does this pertain to our story? Well, our story is called The Backwards King. And after we do our story and our craft, we're going to have a song to sing. So here we go with the story. You ready? All right. So if you can, I want you to stand up. Okay? Make sure there's a little bit of room behind you. And we'll start our story. You ready? Okay. All right. I have a couple of pairs of shoes here. These shoes are well worn. They're dirty, they're falling apart, the sole's all gone, there's no traction. But they're kind of comfortable. And then I have a brand new pair of shoes that are shiny and sparkly and have very good traction. But sometimes you just want your comfortable shoes. Sometimes a brand new pair of shoes just don't feel right. That's kind of like following Jesus. If you have a comfortable pair of shoes and you're comfortable with knowing all about Jesus and you're comfortable with him being your king, that's all you need. That's all you need to follow Jesus. But sometimes there are people who are just learning about Jesus. He looks great, but they're not sure. But sometimes you need to take that little bit of time to get used to what we're talking about and what we're learning about. And pretty soon you'll find that it's really comfortable to be following Jesus. Because you can trust him, and he loves you, and you'll always be going in the right direction. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Yeah, well, speaking of directions, we're going to talk about backwards. Jesus might take us backwards a little bit. He was a backwards king. Yes, he was our king. He is our king. But when he was born, he wasn't born in a palace. He wasn't born with servants all around him. He was born in a stable and laid in a feeding trough called a manger with animals around him. A baby king would have had lots of people coming to visit him and blowing trumpets and announcing that he was born. But not the baby Jesus. Nobody even knew he was born. But instead of trumpets, he had angels. Angels from heaven. They came and announced his birth to the shepherds. Not the rich people, not the people who had lots of money, but the shepherds out in the fields looking after their flocks. And they came to see the baby Jesus. And then after that, Jesus started to grow up. And he grew up as a carpenter. His father was a carpenter. He learned how to be a carpenter. That's somebody who works with wood. Just like all the other kids in his neighborhood, they all had something to learn to do. And that's what he did. But a king, he didn't have to do anything. He had servants to do everything he wanted. Jesus didn't have any servants. But when he grew up, he became a servant. He became a servant to you and to me and to all the people around him. And he would be there for them, and he would help them, and he would heal them, and he would do whatever he could to make their living circumstances better. He was a backwards king. He did everything opposite the way the other kings did. And when he went into the big city of Jerusalem, where the kings lived, do you think he rode on a big horse and had lots of people riding around him in colorful clothing? No. He rode on a donkey, and he just had his friends around him. And his friends were like fishermen and tax collectors and just people who just worked around in the towns. They weren't all those big famous people. But they all were there waiting for him to come into Jerusalem. And then they decided that maybe this king wasn't as nice as that king, and maybe Jesus wasn't as good as that king, and they started to think about it, and they thought, we don't want this king anymore. This king isn't as glamorous, isn't as rich, isn't as powerful. And they put him to death on the cross. But another backwards thing. He didn't really die. 3 days later, he came back to life again. And he walked around for 40 days doing exactly what he did before, talking to people and healing people and helping people and saying, believe in me, follow me. I'm the comfortable one. I'll be here for you always. Just like a comfortable pair of shoes. He'll be with us always. That's really good, isn't it? He's alive and he's with us. And that's something no other king can do. Let's say a little prayer. You ready? Dear Jesus, we thank you so much for being in our lives every single day and every single moment. We want to follow you. We want to follow you because you're comfortable and you love us, and we are so happy and we feel so lucky to have you in our lives. Please don't ever leave us, Lord Jesus. Amen. Hello again. We're in the God's Garden Craft Corner, and we're going to make some crowns. That's what kings wear, right? So we're going to make a Christ the King crown. So we have two of them to make. One is very easy, and the other one is a little trickier, but a lot of fun. So I'll show you the easy one first, all right? You're going to need some glue and some scissors. You're going to need some stickers and other things to decorate it with. You're going to need just a strip of cardboard like this. It's about 2 inches wide. And just make sure that it will go around your head, okay? And then you're going to either cut out something like this, or this one is one that I got at the dollar store. They come in a package of many colors. And on the bottom, I wrote, Christ is King. All right, so we're going to make our first crown by using a little bit of glue and gluing that onto here. I think I'll use this glue. It's a little bit stronger. So a little bit of glue. And we're going to just put it on the bottom here. And if you want to know how to make something like this, I'm going to show you in our next craft, okay? So stay tuned. I'm going to put it in the middle of this. So now we have Christ the King. You ready? Okay. Then we're going to decorate it with whatever you want, okay? I have some stars here, and I'm going to put a couple of stars on here. And I have some stickers that look like gems. A gem is a very expensive, beautiful stone, like a diamond. So I'm going to put a few of those on here. Because he's not an ordinary king, I'm going to put some flowers on it, not just jewels. I'm going to put some flowers all over it. So that's, I mean, you can put anything you want on your crown. Maybe one more. Here we go. If you have sparkles at home, put lots of sparkles on it. Then you're going to just wrap it around and put a little piece of tape on it or staples, okay? And then you have your Christ is King crown. There you go. That's the easy one. The next one, it's going to be a little bit more fun, but you will need an adult with you when you do this one, okay? I'll put my other crown right here. We're going to make a crown like this one. And it's going to have a lot of different colors in it. Okay? So to make those colors, we're going to have to use some crayons. So I'm going to put these away. And I'm going to show you what I did first. Okay? First, I cut out my crown. And my crown is going to look like that. I'll show you how to do that. Okay. I got a piece of paper, any paper, this is going to just be like a template. And I drew some lines on it, folded it in half like this, so that both halves are going to be the same when I cut it out. Okay. So I drew just a curved line, 1, 2, 3, 4, or more if you want, going from this corner to this corner. Okay. Draw some lovely lines like that, and then you're going to cut it out. Curve. this, you'll see what I mean. There. That is the same as one of these here. Right, so that's how you make the front part of your crown. It's by using a template. It's not hard. You can do it any shape you want to. And then I'm going to do another one with a heart, and you know how to make a heart. So you cut it out, fold it in half, cut it out so both halves are the same, right? Okay, so then I traced it on here, and I drew 2 lines about 2 inches on the bottom here so that it will go around your head. All right, so let's cut that out. Other side. There we go. All right, we're off to a good beginning. So then on my crown here, I made a heart in the middle. You can make whatever you want, but I made a heart because Jesus is love. And that's what I want everybody to remember. So we're going to make a heart in the middle of this one. You've already drawn your heart, so we're just going to trace it on here and then cut it out. Okay. All right, so I'm going to show you how to cut out something in the middle of the paper so that you're not going to be cutting on the bottom. So what you're going to do is just fold it just gently. You're not going to fold it hard. But then you're just going to make a cut anywhere you want in the middle of the heart. And then that's where you're going to start your scissors so that now you can go up to the line and start cutting around it. And that way you're not going to be cutting through the crown itself. Okay, there we go. All right, now you can do whatever you want on the rest of it. If you want to cut out some diamond shapes, some circle shapes, whatever you want right there. It's your crown and you can do whatever you like with it. But now I'm going to show you the tricky part, okay, or the most fun part. The part where you're going to need your mom or dad with you, okay? You'll find it on our website, and we're making this one right here now. So cut it up, get your mom maybe to photocopy it, and it will have you the directions there so you won't forget what you're doing. All right, so I'm going to use an iron, and that's why we need to have your mom or dad or an adult close to you. Okay, I'm going to turn it up to about, well, on mine it's about a 3, which is just lightly warm. Okay, we don't want it to be hot at all. So it'll be warming up there while we get ready to make the rest of it. Then you need some waxed paper. And you're going to rip off a piece. You can have 2 exactly the same size. Okay. All right, this one we're going to use in a minute. Now on this one, you're going to use a pencil sharpener and some crayons. Take the paper off of the crayons beforehand because we're going to use the pencil sharpener to make little pieces of crayon all over it. All right? So when you start going like this, you'll start seeing it fall down onto the paper. Can you see that? So move your hand around so that it's falling in different parts of the paper. It's waxed paper, so it will stick together when we get it warm. Okay, now I'm going to use some yellow. I think there's still a little purple left in there. There we go, get some yellow there now. Here comes some more yellow. Yellow is pretty good. I like lots of yellow on mine because it shines brighter. So I'm going to put lots of yellow all over there. And then I'm going to put a little bit of red. It's like raining crayons. That's the fun part. Okay. Now I've got to get some little bit of blue. Nope, I think my red one's stuck in there again. Let's see if we can get some blue here. There we got blue coming. There we are. And maybe just a little bit of green. Whatever colors you like anyway. And just move your hand around till you get all covered in with whatever you would want there. Alright, that should be enough. Alright. Then we get to put the other piece of waxed paper on top, just like that. Now to make sure this is the right temperature, I always use a towel underneath it, and I'll put this just on the towel, and I'll put my hand on it, and if it's just lightly warm, that's right. But if it's really hot, then you have to turn your iron down a little bit. Okay, so just put it like that, put your hand on it, and it'll be just lightly warm, and that's just the right temperature. Okay? Because then we're going to just run it over top of this. One that way, maybe one that way. And that's all you need to do. Okay, now I'll show you. Ready? There. Isn't that pretty? That is amazing. And it's so easy and fun to do. So then we're going to use this again. And I'm going to try to put it on the part that I want it to show. If I put it here, I'd have lots of red. If I put it here, I'd have lots of yellow. If I put it here, I'd have lots of different colors. So move it around until you find just the place that you think you would like it to be. Okay? And then we're going to glue it on there. So you're just going to glue all around and all around the heart. Okay? Then we put it just where you want it to go. Perfect. Okay, so you might want to let it dry for a few minutes, but then the next part is just cutting off the part you don't want. So we'll just cut around. Take the wax paper off, and then you have your crown. Ready? Ta-da! Isn't that beautiful? Now some people might think that the other side is just as beautiful. And that's true. You could use just this side. So it's totally up to you. On mine, I like both sides. And on this one, I wrote Christ the King on a piece of tape so that you'd see it. And on this side, I wrote it right on the bottom. Christ is King. He is King of our lives. And if we follow him, we're sure to be going in always the right direction in a comfortable pair of shoes. And he will always be with us. So let's sing a song about following Jesus. All right, here we are. We're going to sing, I Have Decided to Follow Jesus. And remember, he is your King. He might be a backwards king, but he's the best king there is. So we're going to sing that 3 times. I have decided to follow Jesus. No turning back. I'm not going to change my mind. And then it's going to say, I may wonder, but I'll still follow him, because we're always wondering about what's next. And that's why we read our Bible stories a lot. So we can always wonder about, what would he say about this? Or what would he say about that? And that's a good thing. You ready? I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. No turning back, no turning back. Though I may wonder, I still will follow. Though I may wonder, I still will follow. Though I may wonder, I still will follow. No turning back, no turning back. Do you want to sing with me one more time? Okay, you sing a little louder this time so I can hear you. Here we go. I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. No turning back, no turning back. Though I may wonder, I still will follow. Though I may wonder, I still will follow. Though I may wonder, I still will follow. No turning back, no turning back. Have fun making your Christ the King crown. And remember, you may wonder, but you can still follow him.